This is a video of the formal proposal of your contextual analysis. So as I've said in class, the contextual analysis project is designed to replicate the same process you would go through for a much larger research project as well. So we're assuming that you have already kind of thought about some of the things, that you have kind of met some of the early standards right there, and at this point you're ready to actually make the formal proposal as well. Probably the document to be thinking about, and keep in mind that the dates on this document may not be correct for the quarter that you're seeing it as well. Refer to the prompt for that as well, but it's a good idea to kind of give you an idea of like where we are. This is working through weeks 4 through 9 of the quarter as well. So you should have already completed the library workshop, at least the written element of it as well, and probably still have the formal Zoom meeting with the research librarian coming up in the future. You have already submitted, or will be submitting, your preliminary inquiry question to me in week 4. So that's going to be due Friday of week 4 as well. I will then read those over the weekend, and then the beginning of week 5 we'll begin having our conferences as well. So the conferences will be where I'll have read and evaluated your preliminary inquiry question, and then I'll give you feedback on it. So I'll be like, oh, well, I think you need to narrow the question, or you need to shape your audiences a little bit more, or something like that. But once you have gotten feedback from me, then you're ready to actually do the formal proposal. So that's right here. So where we are in this process right here as well. So we're assuming that you have already, you are in the process or going to complete the preliminary inquiry question, and then after that you end up having the conference. So this is the next step. So one of the things is you are establishing your credibility to be able to talk about this. So the preliminary inquiry question might change initially. They might kind of alter, what you're going to end up being talking about. But once you kind of do the formal proposal, then you're locked in for your topic/issue for the contextual analysis as well. The proposal should be written in a confidence tone, should establish credibility to you, inspire confidence in the reader. Is she ready to do this project? Is he capable of taking it on as well? So the elements that would go into this are, you're going to kind of like have this phrase right here. I propose to do my contextual analysis project on, and then you'll kind of give us a brief summary. So maybe it's, gun reform, or maybe it's something like that right there, but an overview of the topic right there. And then you'll give me your second version of your inquiry question. So this is the question that you're going to use to kind of build the entire contextual analysis around. You then want to write a paragraph with a subject heading of why this project is important and relevant. You need to kind of write one paragraph in about 200 words for that. And then you need a second paragraph, write one paragraph about who it is relevant to as well. Again, this is about 200 words as well. So, who are these people? Who are these interested audiences? I think that's a good way to think about it as well. You then need to include 3 rhetorical précis from your sources. They need to be good, credible sources. Now, you've got your seed article, but now you can expand out. You can add in 2 other articles, maybe from the New York Times, or maybe from the Washington Post, or the Wall Street Journal, or some other reputable source, or peer-reviewed source. You can use that right here. But the real trick here is that you want to be showing me that this topic is relevant and important, and how does it fit into the current dialogue as well. So the one thing you're trying to do is just show that these are things that we're going to want to be talking about as well. It's useful to have a model, so I've provided one for you as well. So this is, and there's a link to it in the prompt itself. So again, here's your paragraph kind of talking about, what your initial question is. And this person is, again, the example of why are people obsessed with selfies? Why is this important paragraph important, or why this project is important and relevant? There's a paragraph for that. Who is it important and relevant to? There's a paragraph for that as well. They then also have their 3 RPs as well. Now, you don't need to have the reflective element for the RPs. You just need to have the RP itself and a link that'll take me to that as well. The other thing that it'll talk about is what we refer to as the interested audience map. And this is similar to a brainstorming idea that you would do for when you're starting a project as well. So you would put your question in the very middle, and then you would try to come up with as many interested audiences as you could possibly have for your topic. Now, you only need to have 3 for the actual project itself, but in this interested audience map, this is where you're kind of setting up. So maybe designers take selfies, or maybe artists do, maybe businesses or marketers, celebrity, things like this. It can be something like this right here is hand drawn and just take a photograph and upload it. Or you can end up using, there's a software called Coggle, Coggle.it, Coggle it, that's the site itself, that'll end up making these as well. It's a pretty easy software, it's free as well. So here is an interested audience map for the topic of selfies as well, so the same type of thing. So you can set this up, you can save it as a PDF and then upload it to the proposal itself. Hopefully this was all beneficial and made sense to you. If you have questions, you can always stop by office hours. Thanks.